Hello everybody, how you doing? Let me fix my light so we can see. Isn't that better? I hope. Today I'm gonna work on a holder that you hang from the ceiling. The one I'm making is red, but it will look like this when I'm done. See? There's a little basket down here where you can put like a little crystal bowl with potpourri in it, or I put my Glade things in it, my air fresheners, so they're kind of out of sight. Well, they're in sight but they look a little prettier than just sitting around. I like that they have these big 3-inch ones, big 3-inch around. They're square, kind of square, flat. They're not like that funny shape that the other ones are. Yeah, they're funny shaped, aren't they, Rimp? He sure is talkative today, isn't he? So I got them all put together here. All I have left to do is, see, I got the basket here. And then these will be the little hangers. It took me a while to get to do this part because I didn't have the small safety pins, so I had to go buy small safety pins. And while I'm doing this, I thought I would talk. Tuesday, the 15th, was, or would have been, Ricky and I's 28th anniversary. Excuse me. Had to grab a safety pin I had over there. So I spent it going to the doctor. He wants me to get tested. Why do I have yellow? He wants me to get one of those, they call it a low density cancer screening for lung cancer. You know, I've seen a lot of doctors over the last years. The last 10 years alone, I've been bounced from doctor to doctor. And this is the first one to even mention this test. So, I don't know. I'm supposed to, well, I'm waiting for the referral to go in. It hasn't come in yet. Then I guess I'll go get tested. And if it's positive, like if they find, I don't know what they're looking for, little nodules or something. I don't know what I'm going to do. Quitting smoking? Ooh. I don't know. You know, I'm a hardcore. Have been since I was 10 years old. So, that it's going to be a tough one if I have to do that. But, like I said, it was also our anniversary. Or would have been our anniversary. So I thought while I'm working on this, I could give you guys a little story about how we met. Something a little positive. Well, it turned out we actually knew each other back in like the early 80s. He used to party with my neighbor. And my neighbor lived with his mother. And my daughter used to hang out over there all the time. Because his mother would... she had lost her leg to diabetes. So she was stuck in a wheelchair. And she used to get Chris up on her lap. Chris was only like maybe 2 or 3 at the time. And she'd get Chris up on her lap and push her around the living room in her wheelchair, and Chris would she would just have a ball. And she would give her like oranges and apples and fresh fruit that I couldn't afford at the time because I was on welfare. So, and DC was okay when he wasn't drinking. And he used to propose to me on a regular basis, but I would tell him, nope, can't do it. And you're 44 years old and you're living with your mother. What kind of a future is that, right? I was like 20 at the time. So, anyways, neither one of us remember this. Now, is that what I was going to do with these yellow ones? I don't think I have enough. Because I'm going to need a lot. I think maybe it would be nice if I had enough black ones, but I think I was going to do the middle bead black. I think. I thought I had everything here and all together, and apparently I don't. Irritating, huh? So, I guess I'm gonna... Unless I planned on using these. Oh no, these are all broken. These are the broken ones. Aren't they? I think these are all broken. When you buy these starflake beads, yeah, these are all the broken ones. They come in a bag like this. And they're plastic, so you get a fair amount of them that are broken. So when I'm going through them, I tend to throw the broken ones in a bag, and then I forgot to throw it away. So, I guess we'll save this for next time. Because I'm not as prepared as I thought I was. But I can continue on my story. We met in 1988. I know it was 1988 because that was my AA birthday. Me and my brother Matt, we pretty much shared the same birthday. We couldn't remember. One of us sobered up on the 1st and the other one was on the 31st. One was either on the 31st of August, and the other was the 1st of September. But for the life of us, we couldn't remember who was first and whatever. So we just decided we were going to share the 1st as our AA birthday. So... He did the AA route, going to the meetings and everything. I didn't. I just said, nope, enough is enough, I had my last fling up in Canada. I went up there with a couple of friends of mine. It was the last run of the, what was the name of that boat? Princess Marguerite, I think. It was a Princess something. And it was the last time it was run from Seattle to Canada, because they had this faster boat that they were going to use take its place. So, really cool cruise ship. I've never been on a cruise before. And as soon as you hit international waters, the casino opened. My first experience on a cruise ship. My first experience with the casino. I was having fun. But once we hit Victoria, we did the old touristy things. They have a really wonderful museum up there, by the way. But we spent 2 nights up there, and the second night we went out partying and ended up at this table at this one bar with this guy who kept trying to shove this huge wad of money in my hand. I'm not sure what he was doing. And he had his friend with him that was just like huddled in the corner of the booth, all wigged out. So I woke up the next morning and I did no more. That's enough. Never cared for the taste anyways. Was always a super lightweight. I mean, when we were up there, I had like half a cooler and I was ripped. That's how long ago this was. The coolers were the big thing. So anyways, a couple months after that, Matt moved in with me. And then this guy started coming around, picking him up, taking him to AA meetings, because he didn't have a car at the time. And it turned out he lived right down the street. And his name was Ricky. And I was walking up. We had this long hill from my house to the grocery store. And so I was coming back from the grocery store. I was walking up the hill. And he come driving by. He pulled over, offered me a ride. And that's when we got talking. And we just talked about what we were doing. And then I decided to go to a couple of meetings to give Matt support. So, next thing I know it, this guy's knocking on my door during the day, asking if he can watch my TV, because his mom was watching soaps or something. And he wanted to watch what he wanted to watch. And I was working on a story at the time, so I was in my little dinette area typing away. And I said, fine, as long as you don't mind my typing. And so I'm typing away, and he goes into the living room, plops down on the couch in front of the TV. Next thing I know it, I hear snoring. He promptly fell asleep in front of my TV. And he started doing that on a regular basis. He would come over, ask to watch TV, and then promptly fall asleep. So, and then, like I said, Matt was going to a school at the time. He was learning to be a nurse's aide, or training or something. He was gone during the day at any rate. Ricky was gone some days, but he had a hard time getting work. He worked for this union that just didn't want to find him jobs, I guess. He was in the reserves at the time, so he did get that money. So he wasn't totally broke. And next thing you know it, he's coming by on the weekends when he wasn't in the reserves and grabbing me and Matt in this big old Monte Carlo, which he had to use a screwdriver to crank it over. the key thing was broken. In the ignition, it was broken, so he had to use a screwdriver. But we would go cruise around Green Lake, And he had a really pretty nice, I mean, that part was kind of toast, but he had a really nice cassette deck in there. So, and he would crank out Salt and Pepper's Push It, the tape that had Push It on it. And whenever the song Push It came on, we would do the respective parts. And we'd start just having a ball singing along with the tape. And my poor brother, he'd be on the other side. This was, the Monte Carlos, they had like the couch type front seat. And it had a third seat belt. So the three of us could all fit in the front seat. And my brother Matt would just hang his head out the window and just go, help me. Oh, it would just drive him crazy. That ended up being our song. of all songs, that was mine and Ricky's song. But yeah, that's how we met. He became Matt's AA sponsor, so he started coming over to pick him up for meetings, and next thing you know, we're going cruising around Green Lake, and he's sleeping on my couch. And then, he would bring his son over, and he'd pick me up, and me and him would go take his son out to Green Lake, and his son had a little train wheel bike. His son was only like 5-6 years old. And I would plop down under a tree while little Marcus would ride his little bike and Richard would jog around the lake. I wasn't about to jog, no way. Nope, that's not my style. Never has been. Never was good at running, never was good at jogging, none of that. And we'd have these picnics, and he'd bring MREs, the old MREs that were in the little plastic pouches. And I remember one time, it was the last time, as a matter of fact, it's the day Marcus got killed. We were having this picnic. Richard went to go to the bathroom, and me and Marcus were sitting under the tree with our lunches, and he gave Marcus beans and Franken beans, beans with hot dogs in them. And Marcus just looked at this food, and he looked at me, and he goes, "Do I have to eat this, Auntie?" He called me Auntie. It was just so unbelievably sweet. He was a sweetheart. I mean, that kid he'd give you cavities. He was so sweet. And I just shook my head and said, "No, you don't have to eat that." I go, "You can eat the other stuff though," because they came with these freeze-dried, I guess, fruit cocktail, which actually, if you didn't put the water in it, they were pretty good. They tasted kind of like really tart marshmallow, like the kind of marshmallows you get in Lucky Charms, the kind of hard marshmallows. It was like that, and they're sweet but tart. I always thought they were really good, but yeah, that's how we met, through my brother. Now they're both gone. I lost Matthew a couple of years ago. Complications from he ended up getting pneumonia, and his heart just gave out. He's worse. He had a worse lifestyle than I did. Like I said, we sobered up at the same time. Unfortunately, 12 years later, he also had a heart attack and quit smoking. But yeah, 12 years after sobering up, he decided to pick a beer up, and at the same time he picked a cigarette up, and nobody knows why. He didn't even know why. Next thing I know, he was like chain smoking. He smoked more than my father. I mean, I thought I was bad. He was like, he had to buy his own tobacco and roll his own cigarettes because he couldn't afford it. He was smoking up to 4 packs a day. I mean, he would just light one, like, put one out, light one. He would even light them together, even though he had had a heart attack and they had told him, you gotta quit because your arteries just aren't gonna take it. He had a horrible diet all through his life. He pretty much lived off canned chili and lunch meat, and not even the healthy lunch meat. So, but I mean, that was the path he chose, right? There's nothing you can do with any kind of an addict. If they're gonna choose that path, you can't force them off it. All you can do is protect yourself. And that's what I ended up doing for years. We were pretty much alienated because I couldn't handle his drinking. It broke my heart so bad that I could not be around him. And when he was drinking and smoking so much. I mean, I smoke too, but he came down here once to fix our toilet, and he was out there having a cigarette every 5 minutes. And it's just watching him just tore me up. So, yeah, we were pretty much, we got back together though in the end. In his last year, 6 months to a year, he had sobered up and still smoking like a chimney, but he had sobered up, got himself in a decent living situation. In a group home, but there was only one other person there. So, and the caregivers seemed to be very nice. I got to meet them when I went to pick up his stuff. And got to talking on the phone more. So at least we were able to get back on civil terms before he passed away. But like I said, it was a path they chose, and all you can do is protect yourself. It's hard telling a sibling or a parent or a child or any loved one that I can't handle it. You have to stay away from me until you decide to change your ways. Sometimes that works. Sometimes they do. Other times they don't. So, but you have to protect yourself. You have to take care of yourself. So, well, that's that. I thought I was going to be positive, but well, just remember Ricky passing out on my couch. My thoughts on that were, well, I must make a comfortable home. if he can come in and just fall asleep like that, must be comfortable here, which is good. I always took it as a compliment. Well, okay, I'm going to get my stuff together more, and then next video I'll work on that, or maybe I've done some key rings that I'm doing diamond painting on. Maybe I'll do some of that rather than just sit and talk. Do something a little creative. Might even paint or draw or something. I'm not sure. I'm not very good at it, but I enjoy doing it. So that'll be it for now. We'll talk to you later. You have a good one. Bye.